we got to admit it. This game is tied. 2 minutes left on the clock. We got the ball. We're driving down the field. We're doing the blocking and everything we need to do. And I know you got a saying around here that came from Bo. The team, the team, the team. And boy, do we have the right team.
That was Minnesota Governor Tim Walz campaigning in Ann Arbor yesterday, trying to sway remaining undecided voters in the final stretch.
And now, with just a week to go until Election Day, we want to make sure you have all the information you need to make sure your voice is heard. Our Jordan Burroughs joins us now from Southfield with more on what you need to know as you head out to the polls. Jordan, good morning.
Sandra and Chris, good morning. What voters need to know is that early in-person voting seems to be the trend here in Michigan. You heard it from Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson. It's only been 2 years since that law was passed that voters were able to do that, and voters have taken advantage of that. Here at Southfield City Hall, we've even seen tens of cars come behind me to drop off their ballots in that official ballot drop-off box here as well. According to Jocelyn Benson, more than 25% of registered Michigan voters have already voted. This is after around 150,000 voters took part in early voting this past weekend. Of course, that's when early voting began in the state. We know early voting will begin the day before the official election day on November 3rd. At least 12 early voting sites saw more than 1,000 voters on Saturday. And in total, 263,634 voters participated in early voting over the weekend. Well, we talked to a few of those people who voted early, and they say that that is the way to go.
Not surprising from doing it yesterday because there were a lot of people at the poll. Like, I thought I was just going to walk in, and I had to wait in like a small line, which I was surprised by.
I think that it's a great idea because I said there's a lot of uncertainty that's what's going to happen on the day of the vote, and so I think people are taking the initiative and voting early.
Let's talk about the do's and the don'ts of voting. This is directly from the state of Michigan. It says for voters to do. So do check your registration and polling place ahead of time. Ask for a new ballot if a mistake is made, and maintain security of your ballot, meaning that you should keep it in the sleeve after voting until you put it in the tabulator. Now, here are the don'ts for people that are voting in person. Don't speak to a poll watcher or a challenger. They are not allowed to speak to you. Don't allow anyone else to pretty much case your ballot, look at your ballot. That is until your ballot is officially in that tabulator and then your ballot has been cast. And don't wear any buttons, any caps, any clothing that endorses a specific candidate or endorses a specific issue. That's banned within 100 feet of polling places. We also know that the polling locations will ask for some sort of photo ID or driver's license to verify who you are. But in the case that you don't have that ID, then you would be able to sign an affidavit saying you are who you say you are. All right, just a week to go until Election Day, but of course, early in-person voting, you can do that now at most of your polling locations. Just go online, type in your address, and you'll be able to find where you can go vote early in person if you choose to do so. Reporting live in Southfield, Jordan Burroughs, CBS News, Detroit.